Hello everyone, welcome to GNU according to CD, that is Government of National Unity. So guys, my voice is a little bit groggy. If you hear it break sometime, just know that things are happening. Change of the season. You know what happens when that happens, right? Anyways, guys, I just want to talk about something that I did touch before regarding South Africans not having the culture of boycotting things. If there's one thing we are good at holding ourselves accountable, our leaders accountable, and everyone else accountable, but we fail at implementing where we had shot a warning shot, like boycotting. I mean, this puzzle shop situation is an issue it did not start now. It has not started now. If you look back in 24, in fact, not even 2014, like let's say 2012 or so, there were South Africans that complained about unfair competition. Yes, if you are outside of South Africa, because most of y'all like to put your country's standard onto us, and yet we are a totally different country from your own. Your culture, your practices, and your traditions, your laws, you name it, we don't do here in South Africa. We have our own way of doing things. And the word competition, it is regulated in South Africa. If there's even a court called a competition court, just like there are laws that are competition laws in South Africa. If you are going to practice unfair competition, your competition can take you to court if they feel like you being unfair in the field of economy or business or whatever the case might be. For an example, let's see. Let's say South African Airways and Peace Airline. They are in a competition for passengers between Johannesburg and Lagos, or between Johannesburg and Abuja. But it seems like South African Airways gets the most business from that route. Therefore, Peace Airways or Peace Airline, whatever it's called, has the right, because it is doing business in South Africa, to approach the South African Competition Court and cry unfair competition. This is an example before you all start coming for me, simply because some of the people, most of them usually are not South Africans, are not good at listening. Listening is a skill. You must understand that. So they can go to the South African Competition Court and say, South African Airways, it is practicing unfair competition. Now, of course, the Competition Court will listen to the evidence that is brought by Peace Airline against South African Airways. That includes the number of passengers, the number of flights it deploys. Is it deploy from OR Tambo International? How much the SAA makes out of that, etc., and so on. So same thing with business in South Africa. However big or small the business is, there must never be unfair competition. Now let's come back to the Spaza shop issues. Now, Spaza shop is a South African concept that most of you, when you ran away from your countries, you came into and you realize that, oh, I've never seen this type of business before. But because you don't know and you go to a country without learning about it, you come and you break its laws. The first law that you break is that you open a business without first following the rules of that country. For example, South Africa, because you ran away from your country to South Africa. And our immigration laws are very clear about starting a business in South Africa. But no, you ignore that, right? However, though, the South African immigration law does give an entitlement to asylum seekers and refugees while they are still in South Africa to open businesses. Of course, small business, because who's going to take care of them? Who's going to take care of them? So they are entitled, not have a right, they are entitled to, in fact, let's say a privilege, not an entitlement. They do have the privilege of opening up a small business without following the immigration laws. However, if that business grows, let's say it grows to where now it makes somewhere between 100,000 rand a month, right? It now makes 100,000 rand a month to maybe 200,000 rand a month. But we know the Somali shops and they graduate to like warehouses where people go and store for these puzzle shops. That's multi-million rand businesses, but they are still operating them as though they are asylum seekers as well as refugees. At that point, you're no longer a refugee or asylum seeker. You've graduated to immigration, economic immigrant, and therefore, as an economic immigrant, you are supposed to now adhere to the South African immigration laws that in order to open a business of that magnitude, you need to have 5 million rand. Yes, 5 million rand capital. But no, they don't do it. And don't blame them either. You have to blame South Africa because South Africa does have Department of Labor, Department of Small Businesses, Department of Trade and Industry, Department of Economic Development. Well, my goodness, we even have the ministers in the presidency. All of them, they're supposed to deploy what you call inspectors, whom, by the way, we do have inspectors. And the question I've been asking, where have these inspectors been? Oh, no, wait. I know where they've been. I know where they've been. One is tempted to say they do inspections, air quotes here. But when they get to restaurants, get to tuck shops, get to wherever they're supposed to be operating, they take bribes. That's why we are where we are today, because they take bribes. That is why in South Africa, and I will repeat this, I don't know until who hears it, we need to enshrine in some law, whether it's the Constitution or Criminal Procedure Act or something that has teeth to bite. They don't tell me about things where somebody makes a recommendation, but they don't have teeth. When I say have teeth, I mean the power to arrest, the power to prosecute, the power to also get to secure a successful conviction out of the findings of the crimes they are committing as inspectors. Because taking a bribe in South Africa is against the law. It's against the Criminal Procedure Act. But what I'm saying is there needs to be a body, not an ombudsman, because an ombudsman does not have teeth. It cannot arrest, it cannot prosecute as well. They can only recommend to the minister. And if the minister looks like, oh no, this is my friend that is being accused, and the minister sits on top of that recommendation until the term is over, and South Africans have long forgotten about this situation. Now let's come back to my point. My point is, South Africans, we fail. We need to hold ourselves accountable on this one. We fail at boycotting. I mean, we are the same people who still go to ShopRite, Spar, and all these other retail stores and grocery stores and marketplaces where we know very well. That includes restaurants where we know very well, or we knew very well, that South Africans are not employed there. South Africans are not employed there, but no, we still go there. When the issue of Babel, that lady, what's her name again, Mihladi, put a video and talked about her ill treatment and the things that she went through at Babel restaurant in Menlyn. And then we were all outraged. That's the problem with us, fake outrage. But guess what? This video came out on was it a Tuesday? I think it came out on a Tuesday. On Thursday, guess who was full at Babel? Yes, South Africans, black South Africans. We were all there. Okay, except me, I don't go out. South Africans were there supporting that bull. Instead of saying, no, 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 this is how you treat our people, let's stay away. We don't have that culture in South Africa. And that is why right now, I don't know if you know the story of the three little pigs. You remember the story of the three little pigs? Yeah, they were being bothered by a wolf. And one pig built a straw house, one built a brick house, and the other one, I can't remember what house it built. But every time the wolf came, it will blow the house that is made of straws all the way down. And the other one also blew it down. But the one that is made of bricks, it could not blow it down. Why? Because the house was made of foundation, bricks, and all the stuff that makes a solid house. You know where we at as South Africans? We are the little pig that built a straw house. We huff and we puff and our house gets blown down. Easy. Why? Because we are not united in boycotting. We're not good at boycotting. Instead, we double down in supporting the problem of our society. That's our problem. We double down and then we even debate amongst ourselves. Others will come with Pan-Africanism. Others will come with, so now, are you going to give me money to go to the town to go and buy at the mall? Instead of saying, Yazin, let me go, because we have this culture. Yokbolekana. You know what I mean? How makhelwane yazin shotelo ushukela. And then umakhelwane then gives you maybe a half a cup. But at the end of the month, when you now go to the mall, because you now have some money, then you are able to repay your neighbor. I know what you're going to say. I already know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say about Ubuntu not existing. Hey, hey, hey. I know that. But these people came to South Africa for one thing and one thing only. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about South Africans or South Africa for that matter. But they only came for one thing and one thing only. And then if you actually interview them, they will tell you, we are here because we want to live a better life. Selling you poison. Your children. Here's the evidence of how we failed ourselves in 2014. When we were told, guys, boycott these businesses. Because when you boycott these businesses, these people, when you close the tap, because that's the tap they are interested in, that keeps Pompolo that continuously to be open. Close it. Meaning don't buy. Because when you don't buy, guess what happens? They will start packing their bags and fuck offing to wherever they come from. That's what they would do. Because what's the point in being in a country where you are not making money? Instead, you are losing money. Now, this is round 2. Can we do that? Can we close the tap that is giving them, some of them, chutzpah to even challenge us in our own country? They even point guns at us. You know why? Because of this tap that keeps open. We keep opening for them as South Africans. They've come so comfortable and so entitled, and they think they are South Africans. They need to be reminded this is not your country. So, when are we going to start this culture of boycotting is what I want to know. We need to stand together in this one. If nobody goes and buys, instead, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Because we can do this. Every corner of our township, we put together some money, and then we find the biggest yard in the township, usually it's the corner houses, and then we build a tuck shop there, a supermarket of some sort, owned by a South African. And then those people in that block, they own shares of that tuck shop. Of course, we need to refine this idea. That way we know that, oh, if I walk down on my block, there's a tuck shop there. Maybe you can even have 4 tuck shops, like in all fauna, or how do I put this? In the block, because the block would have how many houses in the township? It would, let's say it will have plus or minus 50 houses in one block. So if one corner house has a tuck shop and another corner house has a tuck shop, maybe 2 middle houses also have a tuck shop, and the last 2 right at the back. We know that I do not have to just go to, oh, my friend. That's another thing we need to stop doing, calling them my friend. This is not a friendship. This is not a friendship. This is exploitation of the people of South Africa with absolute disdain, hatred, as well as being treated less than human beings. I've said this before. So when are we going to start doing that? Is the question. We need to come up with innovative ideas how to take back our concept called Spaza shops. And maybe next time we need to also copyright this so that nobody else, the refugee, asylum seeker, or whatever, we don't care, it's copyrighted by South Africans. It's ours. This is our concept that is being weaponized against us. Because there are 2 judgments against South Africans on this Spaza shop thing. And I'm going to read in my next video what those judgments are. Yeah, you'll be shocked how our courts work against us. But this one is understandable as well according to the immigration laws. But it's relevant for you to read because the same asylum seekers and refugees are the ones that are pointing guns at us. Yeah. You cannot have I think maybe they're getting that entitlement from court and that comfort and bravado to do what they're doing because they know they can always run to our courts. But they will not run to our courts when you are not buying from them, because it's your right to choose not to buy from them. It's a constitutional right. No court in this country would rule against you and force you to buy from them. No court. But anyways, let's end this one here and let's get to the judgments that were ruled against us South Africans. Why? Because we don't listen. I'm telling you. Even the minister in the presidency, she begged South Africans, stop supporting them. In the recent judgment, she begged South Africans to stop. Anyways, let's see each other a little bit later. Goodbye.